Hey there, Bear Cruisers. Well, the 2026 Big Nude Boat has docked and put us all ashore. And now that we've had time to unpack, do a little laundry, and maybe emotionally recover from theme nights, I gotta ask, was 2026 better than last year? I get to do this video with a little bit of an enhanced bass voice as I seem to have caught a bit of a cold on the closing days of the trip. Makes me sing a little better. 16 tons, and what do you get? Anyway, I personally had a great time, was even more pleased because I got to meet a lot of people that follow our channel. Big shout out to Mark from Illinois, Dave and Molly from Minnesota, George from LA, John and Carmen from Virginia, Jesus from Puerto Rico, and maybe the furthest away was Mike and Jean from down under Australia. Seeing you guys was a highlight to the trip, very much appreciated. I was humbled by your support and very much enjoyed our conversations. Thanks for reaching out. So on to business. How did Bare Necessities and NCL do this time around? First and foremost, let's talk temperature. The weather was a bit chilly with that monster cold front, pushing south all the way down to the Caribbean. This led to a few of the dances on the Lido deck, and activities to move inside the skin of the ship instead of having to face that 20-knot wind, and cold. Now, I'm not blaming NCL for the weather, but they do control the temperature inside the ship, and the first couple of days was pretty nippy. I was afraid it was going to be a repeat of last year where we had to go textile on the ship just to keep from freezing our bits off. A lot of us complained that the captain needed to know his audience and give us a couple of degrees to compensate, and he did. I found it most comfortable inside the ship on this trip, with very few exceptions. It was a good time. Okay, first the bad news. The first and biggest complaint I heard was about some miscommunication about the drink package before we even left port. The original price was $89 a day, and that was dropped to $59 a day right before departure. It's here that things got really confusing. Many heard that the package was dropped $30 a day. Others heard it was priced at $30 a day. Somebody had a hard copy in their room for $30 a day, but it was explained that that was from the last cruise and it shouldn't have been there. The ship's crew couldn't really verify either way. It led to more confusion. And what's the real story? I don't know, but it caused a lot of hard feelings, and the ship didn't seem to know the real answer. Needless to say, they stuck to their guns, and it was $59 a day was the final drink package price. This left many people feeling like a bait and switch happened to them. Nobody likes to have a carrot pulled away from them once they, perceive it's been offered here, kind of hanging down, stuff like that. All right, moving on. Just my opinion, maybe a false expectation on my part, but I found the crew, at least at first, seemed to be much less friendly, to the point that they seemed put out that we were there. Maybe I was expecting too much off the bat, or maybe they just had a really bad cruise prior. I don't know. But with that said, I guess our group's friendly atmosphere or demeanor, won them over, because it seemed like after a rocky start, they were all smiles and we're all good. Everything was good in the world. I need to do some more thinking about the clothing optional excursion selection process before I talk about it. The process was explained, I thought, pretty well by the Bare Necessities group as to the method they use to select what people for what excursions. I know there are a lot of people wanting these clothing optional things and a finite number of trips, so a lot of the people are not going to be able to get to go. I can't imagine the difficulty putting this all together, so I'm not throwing shade. I myself put in a request for almost all the excursions, hoping to get something, and only got picked for one, but I do feel lucky I got one at all. Like any lottery, you're working against some pretty good odds. In my case, the weighing system worked as I got my number one choice. The excursion itself was a very good boating day and snorkeling. Oh, natural. All right, on to the good news. I believe the entertainment was okay. There were not a lot of big production stage shows, but we had a couple of good comedians to kind of round out the schedule, as well as the crew and the passenger talent show. The costume contest was amazing, showing off some of the creativity of some of our passengers. Awesome time. And speaking of entertainment, I think Bare knocked it out of the park with a selection of live music and the DJs. We had the Just Married band, Mum's the Word, Darlington, Scott Klein, and Sydney Miles providing us with some good toe-tapping music, if you do tap your toes anymore. And I have to say that when I packed for the B&B, I have more luggage than normal, which is strange because of theme nights. Theme nights! I love theme nights. They're awesome, and they were good this time too. Moving on. Their staff were once again rock stars as they act as greeters, security, guides, crafters, and just all around good people. You can't find a better group. Kudos to you guys. They were constantly working the pool deck, putting stickers on stale unattended chairs so we all had a chance to sit. There were games to entertain, sports activities, and a great collection of people showing off their venues and activities during the sea days. Many thanks, you guys. Oh, and speaking of sports, I would be remiss to not mention Steve and Beth that took the ship pickleball championship home. Congrats to you guys. For the most part, I thought the food was good. I had a couple of misses in the main dining room, you know, with the food being cold or tough. But overall, I would say they did a good job and had an interesting menu. I did a behind the scenes tour of the galley, and I am inclined to give them a bit of leeway when you look at the amazing amount of logistics of feeding that many people in a relatively short time. The servers are hump, and they're always moving, but they still are cordial and friendly. Obviously, the thing that sets this cruise apart is the ability to be nude almost all the time, when you're away from ports, that is. We had not one, but two opportunities to visit the NCL private island of Great Stirrup Cay in our birthday suits and enjoy a day at the beach, along with some very amazing volleyball. Sadly, a storm surge had done some damage to the island pool, so we were relegated to the ocean. Oh, boo-hoo, whatever. Ship-wise, I personally enjoy time around the pool, sans textiles, and I was able to do that almost every chance I got. There is nothing like a nude dance, even when it's pushed indoors due to weather and you may be shoulder to shoulder. Well, everyone's entitled to an opinion. This one's mine. Even with some of the beginning roughness, I had a great time and I am already signed up for next year. If you went to the 2025 and the 2026 cruise, I especially want to hear from you. What changed in your mind? What improved? What got worse? What should they bring back? And if this was your first time ever on the Big Nude Boat, did it live up to the hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be honest, what was your favorite part of the Big Nude Boat 2026? And what would you change for 2027? I'll be reading the comments and featuring some of your opinions in an upcoming video. Until then, happy cruising, be free, and oh yeah, don't forget the sunscreen.